So Bayern Munich are playing Mainz. We've just demolished Barcelona 3-0, and we are top of our Champions League group, but we're not top of the Bundesliga table, so we need to get back to these heights, get back to where we belong and where we should be, considering the other teams at the top, the Leipzigs, the Dortmunds, they haven't been doing well in the Bundesliga this season. But it's an effort of how badly we've done in the Bundesliga this season that we're still not top, that Union Berlin are still above us. We've had one loss, but we've had like 5 draws. Hasn't been great in the Bundesliga. We need to assert our dominance we've seen in our 6 wins in the Champions League. We need to assert this back into the Bundesliga. And we are playing well right now. With Choupo Moting, with an actual striker instead of just having fluid and no real strikers. With actual striker, completely transformed our game. We're playing like Bayern have been playing in the past, where there's a target to aim for, play around the striker, and then the players behind the striker, they don't have as much responsibility, so they can do what they want and be as creative as they want to be. Therefore, as for the lineup, Bayern versus Mainz, what I'm expecting. Firstly, the news is that Thomas Muller is out again, and I'm getting slightly worried now because he's been out with COVID. He had a hamstring injury, I think, then he had like some hip problems, and then he was back against Barcelona for 30 minutes, and now he has hip problems again. Thomas Muller is probably missing more games in this period than he's missed throughout his whole career. Almost even combined, I think in his whole career combined, he's missed something like 10, 15 games in 10 years, which is unbelievable. But he's gonna miss like 5, 6 games, 7, 8 games in this cycle of injuries and COVID, so it is slightly concerning now that he is getting these injuries, but it could be one small blip. It could be because he's been playing a lot past few seasons, he's been playing a lot this season, and just needs that rest, especially in time for the World Cup also, maybe the rest and recuperation. And I think that's especially the case for Neuer. I think they're taking no risks with Neuer. If it was the Champions League final, Neuer might be playing, or if it was the World Cup final, but because it's not, I think they're taking no risks, and Neuer wants to make sure he's fit for the World Cup. But that means he's not a candidate to start this game. I think they said Neuer could be back versus Inter is possible, but Muller won't even be back versus Inter. Muller is out until at least next week in the Bundesliga, so we hope he's back then. But as for the lineup without these 2 talisman, and it's been working without them, so it's not a real problem. It's Ulreich in goal. Game by game, he's progressing, the distribution's improving, the overall play, the saves, he's making clean sheets now. Very good to see. I really like Sven Ulreich, so he's playing very well right now in goal. Left back, Alphonso Davies, I'm expecting. Davies was good versus Barcelona. He was good going forward, a bit suspect against Dembele on the defence. De Ligt and Upamecano is the classic centre-back pairing, that's what I'm expecting versus Mainz. It could be Pavard for one of them, but De Ligt played exceptionally well. Got the man of the match versus Barcelona, got a 9 in my player ratings. And he was so strong, so solid, so I expect he'll play. And Upamecano also very solid, and we've been keeping clean sheets, so why change something that isn't broken? If it ain't broke, don't fix it type of vibes with this one. Although Pavard could come inside the centre-back, which would mean Mazraoui plays on right-back, because right now it's Pavard and Mazraoui interchanging between right-back. And because we have games pretty much every 2 games a week, it's fine, because they both play 1 game a week, and they're both well rested, that means. But I think Mazraoui will want to be playing more, because he's playing so well, but Pavard's also playing so well, so why should Pavard not be playing as well, is the type of thing. So I could see Pavard at centre-back, although this game I think will have De Ligt Upamecano, which means it will be Pavard at right-back, in my opinion. As for the midfield, I think that just touching on that means Mazraoui won't be playing. Mazraoui could be playing as a left-back. I could imagine it, but I don't think he will, so I guess Mazraoui will be on the bench, even after a good performance again versus Barca. In midfield, I think we'll see Kimmich for sure. Then it's a toss-up between Goretzka, Sabitzer, or even Gravenberch. Gravenberch is very unlikely. Gravenberch is hardly playing much, which is a bit sad to see, because he's a very good player, so he could be playing a lot. I think it will be Goretzka though, because Sabitzer already got 45 minutes versus Barcelona in the second half, so it makes sense that Sabitzer got these minutes. That's why Goretzka can play in the Bundesliga. And Nagelsmann really needs to field his best side right now in the Bundesliga. Next Champions League game versus Inter does not matter at all. It only matters in terms of the prestige and the glory, but it doesn't matter in terms of the actual results. So we could see a weakened Bayern team with Sabitzer, with Gravenberch in that game. While in this game, in the Bundesliga, which actually matters for Bayern Munich right now, heavily matters, I think we'll see Goretzka here doing his normal. In attack, it'll be Musiala, I think, in the attacking midfield position, subbed off versus Barcelona, which perhaps was a reason for him to be rested so that he would be fit for the game versus Mainz. I think in attack, the left wing and right wing is where things could be different. I think Choupo Moting will play. Nagelsmann in his press conference said, I expect he'll continue to do well against this old club, which indicates that he will play. And why wouldn't he play? 4 games in a row, 4 goals he's scored, or 5 goals he scored in these games, and he's got a couple of assists too. He's playing so well, and as I said at the start of this video, not just him playing well is the reason he should be in this team, but it's what he brings to the team in terms of the structure it provides for the rest of Bayern Munich's attackers, provides for a structured 4-2-3-1, where this is more reminiscent not of Nagelsmann this season, not of Nagelsmann's last season, but of Hansi Flick's style of play, where you really have that striker up front. He can go in the channels like Lewandowski did also, but he is quite structured, and it means that Bayern can play around this structure, so be creative, but in a structured manner, unlike the very fluid Nagelsmann type ideas that we've been seeing these past 2 seasons. So I think Choupo Moting is crucial for the striker. But that leaves the question. You have Sadio Mane, Serge Gnabry, and Kingsley Coman for these 2 wing spots. Thomas Muller is out, which eases these selection problems. Leroy Sané also out. Imagine if they were both here. You'd have such selection problems. You'd have Mane, Musiala, Gnabry, Muller, Coman, 5 world-class players who would be starters for virtually every team in the world. And only 3 of them could play. Unbelievable, but that is the situation at Bayern. That is the quality that Bayern have in their team right now. But that leaves the question. So Coman was on the bench versus Barca. Therefore, I think that it makes sense for him to be playing in this game. You don't want players stuck on the bench twice in a row. But although at the start of the season, we saw Sané and Coman on the bench 2 times in a row, where Muller and Musiala were playing in that attacking midfield in that 4-2-2-2 formation. So Nagelsmann does have precedent for doing it. And Sadio Mane and Gnabry both played well versus Barcelona. Gnabry with 3 assists and a barely offside goal. Sadio Mane with that great goal, some decent running. He actually made lots of tackles, interceptions, things like that. So I was really happy about that. So they both had great performances, and you should reward them for this, shouldn't you? So for that reason, I could see Mane playing, and I could see Gnabry playing. I could see both of them playing, but I also see Coman playing. So it's a bit muddled in my mind, but I'm actually going to say Coman stays on the bench. Gnabry and Mane played so well, they play. And especially Mane was benched the game before the Barcelona one, so you expect Mane to play. But Gnabry, with that such a good performance, you can't bench him. And he's been benched enough this season, even though he's been playing well. So, yes, I think Coman has to be on the bench. Coman for Sané, or for Mane, maybe one of the subs. Gravenberch for Goretzka, maybe one of the subs. Or Gravenberch for Musiala, playing Cam, Sabitzer for Goretzka. So that's how I think Bayern will play. I'm very excited for this match. In terms of the tactics, it'll be the classic 4-2-3-1 structure in Bayern Munich's play. Gretzka pushing forward, Mane on the left, Gnabry on the right, incisive balls, Choupo Moting providing that structure, fullbacks will be pushing high. I think we're going to win against Mainz. I'm not sure if it's home or away, but it shouldn't make any difference. 3-0 Bayern, keep the clean sheet with the defence, which is being very solid right now. See you for the player ratings, match analysis, all of that tomorrow. Goodbye.